With reaction, author of Justice Corrupted. Senator Ted Cruz is with us. Senator, you know, I always knew Obama was radical. We didn't see the picture of him in Farrakhan till after his presidency. We knew about Jeremiah Wright. We knew about Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dohrn. We knew about Acorn. We knew about Alinsky. We knew about Frank Marshall Davis. The question is, he never took on these very extreme positions of this new Democratic slate of candidates. Will anyone ask him if he supports these positions?
So, of course, they won't, because the corporate media is utterly corrupt and they are in the propaganda business. But Obama is radical. He always was radical. He was a radical when he was president. He's still a radical. What's changed is the Democrat Party has gotten so much more radical than it was back then. Remember, back then, Barack Obama and Joe Biden both opposed gay marriage. It was a different world. They both claimed they opposed socialism. They both claimed they wanted to secure the border. They both claimed that they supported the police. Now, what has happened is the Democrat Party has gotten so extreme, so radical, there are no moderates left. And it has been weaponized. You know, I look at your last couple of guests. Yesterday, I was in Georgia with Herschel Walker campaigning all over the state. A couple of days before that, I was in North Carolina campaigning with Ted Budd all over the state. A couple of days before that, I was in Ohio campaigning with J.D. Vance all over the state. I got to tell you, in all three of them, we're seeing huge crowds. People are energized. They're fed up with this radical and extreme left wing that is bringing record on inflation, out of control crime, open borders and chaos. And, Sean, we're going to see a red tsunami in November.
You know, it's funny you say that, because over the years I've been out on the campaign trail covering campaigns, and you can feel it. I knew, for example, when Obama was running in 2008, I remember being on stage with Bill Cunningham. I know you know him, the radio talk show host. And we're on stage together, and we're like, this is not going to happen. This is a disaster. But then on the other side, the flip side, you can feel it when there's energy and people are excited about a campaign. I get the feeling everywhere I've been, you've been in, what, you're going to 17 states in total, that the energy is high, people are motivated, and they're tired of the failure of Biden and Kamala Harris.
No, that's absolutely right. I mean, the test that I'm saying, we spent a month doing the 17-state national bus tour. I'm not on the ballot this time, so I'm supporting other candidates for the House and Senate, trying to, A, retake the majority, trying to, B, make sure we elect conservative warriors so that when we have the majority, we do something with it. And I'll tell you the test I'm saying in every state when we talk to reporters, I say, look, just ask yourself this question. Is your life better off now than it was 2 years ago when Biden became president? And if you happen to be a big tech billionaire or a human trafficker or a fentanyl dealer, then the answer is yes, and you probably should vote for the Democrats. But if not, if you're a senior, if you're a working mom, if you're a young person trying to get a job, then life has gotten much harder and much worse. That's why we're going to see a big election. And, Sean, I'll tell you this week also, as you noted, my new book came out, Justice Corrupted, how the left has weaponized the legal system. And it details how Barack Obama and Joe Biden politicized the Department of Justice, politicized FBI, the IRS, the CIA, and they've weaponized the federal government to go after their targets. And it is dangerous, whether it is the FBI raiding President Trump at Mar-a-Lago, first time in the history of our country, or whether it's the FBI targeting pro-life activists, raiding them at dawn with machine guns drawn in front of their crying kids. It's an abuse of power, and this book walks through how this originated under the Obama presidency, where he took the machinery of government, turned it into a weapon, and now under Joe Biden it is metastasized, and it is dangerous. And the book, Justice Corrupted, walks you through the Antifa and Black Lives riots. It walks you through January 6th, what happened. It's the first inside account of what happened that day. I was standing on the Senate floor leading the Senate objection against the voter fraud, and it walks you through President Trump calling me and asking me to argue the U.S. Supreme Court case had they taken the case. It gives you the facts, because people need to be prepared to take on the media lies and counter it with truth and facts and substance.
We're not going to have a country if we don't have rule of law, equal justice, equal application of our laws.
Yep.
It goes to the heart of our Constitution, which is the foundation for all laws. Last question. When you're out on the campaign trail, you talk about inflation, you talk about high gas prices, you talk about open borders, you talk about law and order and defund and dismantle and no bail laws. You talk about woke education versus classical education. Which issues seem to resonate the most from your perspective being out on the road?
Yeah, look, the top 3 issues in the country, according to the polling, and this is true in almost every state, number 1 is inflation and especially gas prices. People are really hurting. Number 2 is crime, and crime is out of control. People are very upset about it. Number 3 is illegal immigration. On all of those, the bad policies are a result of disastrous Democrat policies. For example, let's take crime. One of the things I talk about in the book Justice Corrupted is the Waukesha Christmas parade murderer and the George Soros DAs that let violent criminals go. And in that instance, we just saw the Waukesha Christmas parade murderer convicted this week. If you look at what happened there, this was a guy, a violent criminal, had been in and out of jail. He was arrested for trying to run down a woman with his car, a red SUV. He tried to murder her. He went to jail, and a George Soros DA let him go with a $1,000 bail, a slap on the wrist, and just days later, that homicidal maniac drove that SUV into a parade, murdering children, murdering little old ladies, the dancing grannies. This is happening all over the country, and it is an incredible threat to safety and security. People in every state in America want their families to be safe. And look, I think in addition to the Senate and House, I think we're going to win some governor's races. I think Lee Zeldin is going to be the governor of New York State, because even bright blue New York, they're fed up with left-wing Democrats who have cashless bail and let violent criminals go. The first responsibility of government is to keep us safe, and the Democrats have abandoned that responsibility.
And your book could not be any more timely. Senator Ted Cruz, thank you for being with us. And coming up, wait till you see